Thank you for submitting your learning activity. As per the peer review instructions, I'm going to be uh, going over the assessment chosen, if it actually aligns with the learning outcome selected, and how are we going to be trying to improve or boost the instructional design wrap. What are the suggestions for improvement? And also we're going to be covering the triple E model in regards to the activity review, which is your wrapping activity, the feedback, which is this one is the activity that I will be reviewing. And I won't really go over all the information that you have in your assignment document. I will talk about a little bit of the suggestions and how I will like to see this beautiful work that you have done with the lesson plan being bump up to a little bit more of integrating technology into the activities and the content. So let's just quickly overview in your assessment, the assessment that you have actually chosen for this is the learning objectives is that the group will submit a resume um, targeted towards a business position, and then they will complete a peer assessment for other submissions within the group. When it comes to your learning activity descriptions and instruction, beautiful work. I like the way that you organize your lesson plan, and that you have that you inform the step-by-step procedures. It seems to me that this is approximately 2 hours learning module, and um, and I will just go over quickly with the rationale in regards to the activities that you requested from the reviewer to go over, which are stage 4, the learning guidance, which is a class discussion that you have chose as an activity, and the last activity, which is stage 6, peer feedback. And I'll just gonna go ahead and look into that as well as the request of the for the reviewer, which is investigate, as I mentioned, stage 4 and stage 6, and have the suggestions and how you can integrate technology using um, you can integrate technology for the extension level on the triple E assessment. Okay. Now, when it comes to um, the first, how well I think that you have chose the alignment of the learning outcomes with your group submitting the resume, and as well as providing feedback or peer assessment. I do believe that these are very accurate. The whole learning activity, it reflects the result of your goals for this module, which is for them to be able to independently recognize the skills, the requirements for a good resume, or for a good resume that will open the doors to have that interview when the students um, apply for a business position, and the peer assessment, which will support the learning content, and will give a little bit of a knowledge check at the end, which is what we actually want to see in each learning modules or learning training. We want to make sure that we can measure as much as possible in a formative way to see how much knowledge the students gain through the learning activity. Now, the suggestions that I have to improve the learning activity, which is your instructional wrap, stage number 6, is After submission, each group will be given an access to another group resume and the corresponding job advertisement. So the students are going to highlight and label the areas that are directly related to the job posting, and then you also request them to add at the end of this document a descriptions of the areas that they think, based on what they learned to this module, they think that it went well, and provide suggestions of feedback of improvement for the students that submitted this resume. So the wrap up activity again really supports the learning objectives. I also think it enhances the students' contribution to the engagement, and reflects this allows them to reflect and apply the content that they learn in very different ways. The activity is realistic. I like the fact that they are actually given a realistic resume, and they are able to relate this to a real life scenario, which means that the students, once they have submitted this and they have this document and they have received the feedback from their peers, they will be able to utilize this document and customize it when they're applying to a business position in a real scenario. One of the suggestions that I have for this activity to improve and to bump it up a little bit, is to share with the students before they start the whole activity of highlighting and labeling the areas. I suggest that you can share with them a guideline and or a checklist about providing constructive feedback. So to help the students to organize their ideas, and to prompt them to be consistent and set up that ongoing mindset. It also will be really helpful for you as the instructor to be able to organize, once they organize this content, to be able to to pick up really quickly, and also it will be nice to have, as I think, as one of the suggestions, to have you as the instruction providing immediate feedback to the students or to the learners about their performance. When they submit the description of what went well, the suggestions that they give, and how they successfully identify the areas that are directly related to the job posting, it will be really good for them to have that immediate feedback, and wrap up this activity with an updated document with your stamp of approval or your okay, for them to take with them and to use them when applying for business position. Now, when it comes to your other review the learning guidance from stage 4, and I'm just going to scroll a little bit to just show. It is the class discussion, which is that they look at an advertisement together, and you will actually share this link through Google Doc. You'll share your screen to be able to reinforce and make sure that they actually are within, they're looking at the same document as a class. I will also suggest for them to have, before doing this, I think it will be good to have a quick video, right? Just to make sure that that we're still keep them engaged and focus on the learning activity. I will really like to see a video introducing the content, right? Because this activity is a little bit lengthy, like I mentioned before. The students, they need to keep engaged, and having a video would cater to their different learning preferences or learning styles. and then a video will keep the animation alive, and then it will promote changes and enhance accessibility for different needs for different students, as I mentioned. Um, Once you start sharing your screen with once the video is done, and then you start sharing the screen with your student, it will be a ideal, or it will be really good to try to start asking quick questions, just to check knowledge, what the for a quick knowledge check, to see if the video indeed was helpful, and the students now have a more solid idea of what this activity will be about, and how the class discussion will develop based on the content that was presented. And then you can continue with sharing your screen and guiding them to identify the skills and experiences. You can always recall the video and the part where the video shows these scenarios, and then continue with your pair work activity, which I think is really well integrated within this learning module. Now, last but not least, I'm just gonna scroll over and try to develop a little bit more at the suggestions on improvement, and the way that I would really like to see technology being integrated in this module, and when it comes to the extension level on the triple E assessment. Now, I do think Google Docs is great. It's very friendly user. It's accessible for all learners. It doesn't cost anything, and with students, and the classroom scenario is very well known. It is a common tool that all teachers actually use, and students are very familiar with. Um, I suggest implementing technology with the technology tools to the content, um, by using Miro. Miro is free for teachers. It has a basic access. You don't have to pay. It's very useful, and especially because all the content that you have created in Google Docs can be uploaded into Miro, and from then you can actually use the content and deliver the content, um, and and apply different tools and interactive templates that will help the students to keep retention on the content, to be engaged, encouraged to participate, pay attention. Even though we're using an internet tool, Miro is such a great tool that a lot of teachers actually use in their classrooms. A lot of businesses, they actually use this as well, and it won't actually create any distractions to the students, which is more likely the common fear that a lot of the teachers actually have, or when it comes to allowing the students to access technology. With enhancement and extensions, with the extension that you requested to have a little bit more of a suggestion on how to improve, with the technology tool that is available to the students outside the school, Miro will check all those boxes. Like I said, it can actually be a personal platform within the with outside the classroom. The students can access this information, can access the content, since you're going to be sharing a link with them, and they can access the content anywhere they are outside their school in any day. If they're missing school, or they want to go back and review the assignment, review the whole framework of how to create a successful resume, they can go back and forth. They can share with their families. They can continuously improve this document. They can export it and have it in a PDF file or Word document from there. and they can customize anytime, anywhere, with any kind of devices that they have available. It can be a laptop, it can be a tablet, it can be a cell phone, as long as they have an account, which again is free for the student. The technology creates a bridge between the students learning and everyday life experiences. Like I said, it is available 24/7. um, it allows them to work within the school class content, and allows them to support family and friends to create their own resume, so they will be able to utilize this tool, and and provide, templates or hints, or the suggestions that the students learn from other groups to the peer review. And again, the content learned will always be available for continued improvement to the student, to create different resumes and customize them, based on the job postings that they are applying for. It also This technology also build grid and supports P21 skills. When you apply the content and you start using the different scenarios and templates from Miro with different activities, or interactions, the student is not only processing the information, is being engaged, and based on the different scenarios of the templates that you are able to create for free, the content can actually support and develop problem solving skills. You can have the scenario as a simulation. You can create simulations with this tool, and it will develop critical thinking, communication among other students, because this is a real life scenario chat room, if you can call it like that. You will be able to see what your students are doing just by looking at their avatars and clicking directly to the assigned template that you have given access to, or you can see the entire class. What are they looking at? What stage of the assignments they're working on? How do the resume look like after the suggestions from their peers and your final suggestions? It allows all the students to collaborate as a class, or collaborate in pairs as your content actually is assigns the activity in this module. You will be able to provide feedback right away, and that feedback will stay within the notes. It is not going to go away, right? The students will be able to go back and see it, and they will be able to look into, if you want, into other um, uh, groups submissions, and they will be able to compare and see what the suggestions that you given to this particular group, how and where can they actually apply to their needs, if again they're modifying or customizing a new resume for a position that they found, or that can be a little bit different than the scenario that were given during the class. I do have a lot of you can actually Google Miro, and that's Miro.com, within the technology instructional and designing platforms, or learning platforms. It is really easy to use, very friendly. Is You can create amazing templates and amazing activities to enhance that knowledge gain for the student. And like I said, it's completely free. You can access it anywhere, and the more that you use it, the more that you become more familiar with, the easier it is, the more efficient it is. And everything that you do, you can save your templates and you can save them, so it saves a lot of time within the classrooms. And again, not only provides that impactful experience to the learner, but also you will be able to keep the data and be able to provide maybe some follow-up if that's needed based on the information that the students submitted within the activities that you have that you show, or within the learning modules that you have been teaching to the learners. I hope these suggestions are something that you might consider later on. Again, there's so many platforms out there that sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming. Miro is one of my favorite ones. I started to use it at work, and then I can see a lot of helpful templates and created ideas that I can implement when I put my hat, the instructional designer hat, and I know that it will be one of the things that will help me to develop more learning modules as I go, or at least implementing some ideas that I see there into my instructional designing activities that I plan to create. So thank you so much again for sharing this assignment with me. I hope that these suggestions are something that you can work with, or if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thank you.